Right, welcome to Midlife Comics, where I review comic books that I already purchased long ago and have not read this far. Today I am going to review Batman Under the Red Hood, again from the Hungarian Eagle Moss series. And basically, why I chose to review this particular volume was that before reading this, I was reading Batman Hush, and you can find the video for that on the channel as well. And there was sort of a hint that Jason Todd, the second Robin, that was murdered on public demand by the Joker in the 80s, has returned from the dead. There was a slight hint in that story arc towards this. Batman has disregarded that on some sort of mind games, but it turns out in this particular story that no, that was actually true. Jason Todd is back, and but we don't know that straight away. All we know that at the beginning of the issue is that well, there was some sort of big mob-related event before this particular volume that I have not read yet. I believe it's called War Games, and the one of the consequences of that was that all of the mob-related activities now are happening under the control of the Black Mask, and he's the big crime boss of Gotham City. Except some guy wearing a red hood came to town and started to go medieval on everybody and started killing lieutenants and drug dealers and everything. And first it looks like kind of like a gang war takeover. That I'm the new boss, I want a cut of your business and so on. But it quickly escalates into a full-blown war and elimination of the crime element. And nobody really knows who this new guy is, except that he is really serious. He's a very capable threat, and he's giving Batman a really proper headache. And in the end, there's a big reveal at the middle part of the story arc that yes, indeed, that this Red Hood character is in fact Jason Todd, the second Robin, that was killed by the Joker during the A Death in the Family story arc in the 80s, where there was very famously like a public polling. There were like two options who should die in the story. It was Jason Todd and somebody else. I don't remember who the second choice was, but everybody that participated in that poll, and bear in mind this was in the 80s, you actually had to write a letter and mail it to participate to it. Based on that thing, it was Jason Todd that bit the bullet, and he was beaten to death by a crowbar and then blown to pieces. Except he didn't. And unfortunately, this book only collects half of the story arc between issues of Batman 635 till issue number 641. There are like another 6 issues, I believe, from 645 onwards. So in the second part of the story arc, we get the aftermath of the reveal and basically the whole motivation of Jason Todd and why he goes so hard on Batman, because he is unable to understand that after all that has been done to him, how is that the Joker is still alive and kicking. And it's quite a powerful scene, and it's a good read. Now there was the comic book that this particular story arc has also been turned into an animated movie, which was one of the better ones, although DC has quite a monopolium on animated movies in terms of comic books. Marvel has a couple, but not nearly as many as DC. And in that period, in the early 2000s, 2010s, the DC animated movies were also very good. So you can check that one out as well. This again only covers the first half of the story arc, sadly. But again, like, this is one of those story arcs that is a must read for Batman fans. I would actually buy it if I would have the opportunity, if I would encounter a deluxe hardcover edition of this in the wild, and I would have the funds on me to buy it, then I would absolutely pull the trigger on that purchase. And mostly because it's a very seminal work. It introduces the Red Hood character, so it introduces Jason Todd again, and he was quite an important member of the Bat family, or maybe not of the Bat family, but of DC Comics in the 2000s, especially in the New 52 era when I plugged myself into the DC Comics. He had his own comic line, Red Hood and the Outlaws, which I quite liked at the time. So at least for me, that he is a more interesting character. He has this kind of more Punisher-like attitude. So he is kind of like the DC's answer to Marvel's Punisher. And given his backstory, it is understandable why he has this more hard stance of this hardliner sense of on the topic of dealing with criminals, because he thinks that Bruce's way, well, it's not getting the job done. He's just, he's doing a catch and release program, and that doesn't do anybody any good in the long run. So yeah, it's a very good story arc, and I recommend it. The artwork is really good. It's getting into that more digitized trend that comes during the 2010s and even now. So you can tell that not much paper was involved here, but it is still pleasant to read. It's not as busy, it's not as stuffy as Batman Hush was, so it's more simple, it's much more easier to digest visually. You know already what is important, the way the layout is done, the way the drawing composition is done. Your eyes are immediately drawn to the focus point of, okay, this is important, everything is in the background, it's there because it has to be there, it is detailed just enough, and it's not overdone, so you are not visually overloaded, which is quite nice, and you can actually concentrate on the story. So I enjoyed it. It's like a 7 out of 10 artwork in my opinion. So yeah, it's a really good read, really recommended. It's a bit connected to Hush, but yeah, that's it. So please follow the law of YouTube and like, subscribe and follow. Peace.